Silent Protagonist. Now those are guys I could never understand. How could you not want to show off your personality to the world? And honestly, they're just kind of boring. There's not really a lot to talk about with Silent Protagonists. I mean, they're silent for a reason. Huh? Yeah. Okay. What I meant to say was, I love Silent Protagonists. They're so good at being boring. And for no vague or mysterious reasons, I also want to be a Silent Protagonist. So we're going to be looking through the gaming sphere, seeing how they compare to my personality and how I would live. Isn't that entertaining? So I need to find my perfect emotionless and boring inspirations. If only there were some options. Oh my. The Silent Protagonist, a character who usually doesn't have any lines. These characters are used to enhance your immersion in the game, by the way of letting you be this boring husk of a person. You even get to make their choices on how you respond to NPCs. Hey man, yeah, $1? Now, depending on the game, these choices can be pretty major and impact the story greatly, or just be because the developers want to be little goofballs. Think of a game like Stanley Parable, where every single choice matters and gets you a completely different ending, even choices that seem unimportant. Then compare that to Pokemon text boxes, where if there isn't a yes or no option, it doesn't really matter what you say. Silent protagonists are certainly less used in recent years because of advancements in technology. So there's plenty of characters who learn how to finally speak in recent years, but there are still plenty who prefer to keep their mouth shut. The criteria to be on a list like this is you gotta be known as a silent thief. None of that, I'll talk for one game and then never again. I'm also not gonna be talking about any characters that you can create or alter, since those aren't really characters in the traditional sense, since you're making them. Let's start with one of the most recognizable silent protagonists, Link. Well, actually, Link famously speaks in the awful Zelda CDI games made for the Philips CDI. Which was actually originally goodbye. Thank goodness we didn't listen to that guy. He almost taught us something. Link is so well known for not talking. His other vocal stems have become viral. His voice is more recognizable than many characters in his own franchise. Like, name this guy. Exactly, it's Tingle! But with the Zelda franchise having a deep history that runs centuries and across timelines, one thing remains the same, and that's Link is usually pretty boring. Yeah, I said it. Zelda games have great stories, a lot of the time with Link just going along for the ride, not being the driving force of any of them. Besides Toon Link, and I'd say some of Twilight Princess, none of the other Links seem to possess a thing called a brain or thoughts. They're all just programmed to look like a male elf model, defeat some evil, and then turn off after you close the game. Link's personality can be described only as do-gooder, and well, yeah, that's cool. Seeing any single thought or emotion that comes across this guy's noggin would be a blessing. Now, that isn't to say he's just pure white barley bread. He's got some seasoning. Most 3D games, his reactions can be downright hilarious. But in terms of his 2D appearances, Link is pretty... Well, Link is out of the question. He's too brain dead for me. My videos are mature and educational. I'd never make such garbage content. So who's ready for Keys? A game franchise similar to Jingling Keys is Doom. And before anyone tries to BFG my house, what I mean to say is, these games have one main hook, and that's to shoot the heck out of demons, and that's all. And it's incredible for it. Someone who would agree with me on this is Doom Guy himself. Look at this beefcake of a man. Doom Guy's been a classic character of the video game since 1993. I mean, you can play the original Doom on anything. I mean anything. Look!
I think that's what it was again.
Do I even need to introduce the famous Doom Slayer? The guy who annihilates demons just for the love of the sport? And unlike Elf White Bread over there, Doom Guy instantly shows off his lovable personality. 20 years ahead of his time. What an icon! Even without Doom Guy's knack for silly faces, his personality shines through when we get fully 3D cutscenes in our Doom game in 2016 and Eternal. I haven't been in Dark Ages yet, I'm sorry. I mean, you can tell a lot by the way a man conducts himself. In Doom Guy shows, he knows he's an absolute machine. He stands up to multiple gods in the series like they're inconvenient insects. Plus, he performs some of the coolest things in gaming.
Shoot a hole into the surface of Mars.
Whoops. I mean, if I'm gonna pick anyone, it has to be Doom Guy. He's strong, he's funny, he's good with his hands. I can just imagine it now. I mean, I'm sure there's still a few more characters to talk about. Let's look at those. How about a series with a lot less gore and evil, where instead you meet evil people and try to be their friend? Freaking gourmet king. And that series is Persona. You use your real-world experiences from the dating sim and visual novel to make your life easier when you enter whichever Persona game's shadow world it is, whether it be Mementos, Dark Hour, or this guy's TV. But let's get talking about our main character, Joker. While the other two protags in Makoto and Yu are still iconic in their own way, I mean, just look at some of Makoto's responses. You can see this guy's full of super edgy love, having some of the most out there lines in the series.
I don't know what to do anymore, man. She left me. She left me. She took everything. What?
And you can't forget about Yu Narukami. Now it's time to forget about Yu Narukami in favor of the most popular RPG of all time. The setup to this game is wild, instantly getting you interested. The first time you meet Joker, you're already in casino pulling off spy moves like, shit, I'm a badass, I'm doing flips, hiding in the shadows and being as flamboyant as possible. But then you get caught and locked up by the police and beaten the shit out of. That's a very shortened version of the intro to the game, but it's important to bring up since when you start out your game being a visual spectacle and just being fun, it hooks gamers in. And it also shows our main character's personality, being this smug, overconfident teen, who we then very quickly see blamed for a crime he didn't commit and treated as a social outcast by his own peers. This all happens in the first hour, so you automatically feel bad for Joker, since you've already seen him go through so much trouble, but also, you've seen him be the coolest person of all time. And due to advancements in technology, Joker also gets a few real lines, and by him just saying a few things like saving,
I'll just add this.
or while exploring,
Power courses through me.
it just adds to his character. It makes you feel the tiniest bit more related to him. Throughout the game, I actually felt like a character, not just some soulless husk, because they made me care about who Joker was, instead of him just being the villain for me. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds perfect for me, but sadly, I just don't think being seen as a thief for a guy like me would be very good. Gamers get a lot of time in jail. Oh, and I'm I have one more character I want to talk about. Is it the famous Jumpman? Could it be the ever stoic Freeman? Maybe it's a wild card and we're bringing back Tingle. Nah, it's just Chell from Portal. With Chell being a test subject for the ever kind GLaDOS.
You're not a good person. You know that, right? Turn back, or I will kill you.
She's a way bigger person than me. Because if this clanker was talking to me like that, we'd have some problems. Oh, you think you can just be mean to me? You know what? Chell isn't so lucky though, and is forced to be put through terrible tests by GLaDOS with the newly acquired portal gun, which can make portals. I know, crazy concept. And these puzzles can get really tough at certain points. So our homegirl is just figuring this out on the fly, which means she's pretty smart. And if you read the lore of the series, she definitely is. Her being the daughter of one of the scientists, GLaDOS very nicely gassed. With the lore honestly being so big and entertaining, at least to me, it can honestly be an entire other video. But many other YouTubers have compiled way better videos breaking it all down, if you're interested. This is how a lot of characterization comes for Chell, through content outside of the game. One of the game creators saying that Chell can talk, but just doesn't to make GLaDOS unhappy, which I can respect. Within the game, GLaDOS is your voice, but as I hope you've seen so far, she's evil, so she isn't the best friend to Chell. So who's the best silent protagonist? I honestly don't think there is one. I think that we can learn a lot from these silent protagonists and others that I didn't mention, and that we can see that words aren't really needed in games. You don't need to be talking constantly for your game to be entertaining or fun to play. Just having a good gameplay system makes people want to come back to it, even if your protagonist is silent. Alright, I'm done. Where are you? There you are. Hey. Silent protagonists are ass! I hate them. They can't even speak. Who gives a fuck?